Hello, my name is Annie Scanlan and I'm Policy and Impact Director of the RE-Source platform. RE-Source is all about how we can make it easier for companies to source renewable energy. So it's perfect during EU Sustainable Energy Week to be sitting here outside the European Commission to talk about power purchase agreements and how we can make it easier for corporates to be green. I'm here with Nick from Mytilineos. Can you tell us a bit more about your company and what your role is?
Sure thing. So Mytilineos is an energy and metals company. One of the things that we do is that we produce primary aluminium, for which we need massive volumes of electricity. We consume about 3 terawatt hours each year, which is about 6% of the electricity in the entire country of Greece. I'm here based in Brussels representing the company before the institutions.
Fantastic. So that sounds like a huge amount of electricity that you need to basically produce the aluminium and run your operations. I've mentioned the word power purchase agreements, PPAs. This seems to be a hot topic on everyone's lips here in Brussels at the moment as we're looking at revising the EU's electricity market design. Can you just, in very basic terms, explain what is a PPA?
Sure. So at RE-Source, we primarily focus on corporate PPAs, which is an electricity contract that is signed directly between a producer, a renewable producer, and a consumer of the electricity. Now, PPAs tend to have a fairly long-term duration. We're talking 10, 15, 20 years, maybe even longer than that. And that's really, really useful for the developer of the renewable assets because it ensures that they have long-term stability and visibility on their revenues, which helps them to get the financing that they need for their project. On the other hand, though, PPAs also offer big benefits to consumers by allowing us to hedge ourselves against short-term fluctuations in the spot price. As an aluminium producer, electricity is 40% of our production costs, so we really need to have that forward-looking visibility and predictability on what we're going to be paying, and PPAs can help us achieve that.
So this sounds like a really win-win situation. You know, the company can source green electricity, they can hedge their costs over time, and then for the supplier, they have that guaranteed off-taker for a new wind or solar farm.
Exactly. So it is a win-win, and that's why we're focusing on it so much as part of this review of the electricity market. The Commission has focused very much on long-term contracting, including PPAs. We think this is fantastic, but at the same time, in order to make sure that this works, we need to make sure that the short-term markets are also functioning correctly. Because long-term contracts are basically tools that consumers and producers of electricity use to hedge themselves against short-term fluctuations in the spot price. So when we distort the proper functioning of the spot price, we can come on to talk about these caps that have been introduced in Europe, then it's very difficult to sign any sort of long-term contract, including a PPA, because there's nothing left for you to hedge against. Spot markets are not creating the accurate signals.
Absolutely, and you've alluded to what is the very serious backdrop of EU Sustainable Energy Week, which is, we're coming out of the most serious energy crisis, I think, in any of our memories, and that has been very disruptive for industry in Europe. Very, very high electricity prices, made it very difficult to just continue normal operations, right?
Exactly, and the key way to get out of this will be to ensure that consumers have this possibility to sign PPAs. It's one of the key tools that we need to be using to try to get our consumers, our industries and the rest through this energy crisis. So we would like to see a massive focus on this as part of the reform of the market.